50, Vegas 39. The first fight that we have on tilt here to preview is a middleweight matchup between Phil Hawes going up against Deron Winn. In this matchup, Phil Hawes is coming in at 11-2 and is the minus 300 favorite, whereas Deron Winn is 7-2 and is the plus 240 underdog. Phil Hawes has a boxing background where he likes to keep that high boxing guard. He tends to drop his hands after he throws, and he doesn't move his head off the center line. He throws his jab and the 1-2s. He has a good blast, double leg takedown, and very underrated clinch entries. He always looks to change levels when his opponents try to close distance. He has very good ground and pound and great takedown defense. He tends to slow down after round one and has a subpar chin. He is too hittable in the open, but is mixing up his striking and wrestling better now. Whereas Deron Winn is a fighter with a heavy wrestling and grappling background. He looks to throw wide overhand shots or hooks to the opponent. He goes for double leg takedowns, single leg takedowns, and wrestling rides from the clinch to get the fight to the mat. He has decent cardio, but needs to work on his striking defense. He has a good ground and pound when he gets to the mat. He has a highly decorated collegiate wrestling background before joining MMA. And he's starting to improve himself more to being a more all-around fighter. What are your thoughts of this fight, Jim, and who you think is going to win?
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup because both of these guys are wrestlers who have knockout power. Wynn throws slightly more, but is hittable, which will benefit Hawes, who is the more accurate of the two fighters and also has a 7-inch reach advantage. It's worth noting in this that Phil Hawes is 6 feet tall. Deron Winn is 5'6". He's very undersized for this division at 185. So that's something worth noting. But that's also could be his advantage in getting those takedowns. Smaller frame, but he's built like a tank, so he could just bulldoze in. I don't know if this is going to turn into a wrestling match because Hawes has 100% takedown defense, and the way he works from distance is one of the keys to setting up his combos. If Hawes uses his reach advantage, I believe he gets the win, which I actually see happening. That 7-inch reach advantage and just the height difference, I believe, is going to pay dividends in this. So I'm going to go with Hawes by decision.
This is a fight that just came out of nowhere for me, even though it was originally penciled for July, because Phil Hawes beat Kyle Dawkins, but then Kyle Dawkins gets Kevin Holland while Phil Hawes gets Deron Winn, which is a very step down. I don't understand it, but he's definitely going to have the big advantage in this fight, which is why he's minus 300. He has combined skills of wrestling with the boxing that just is going to overpower Deron Winn. Deron Winn's only chance of winning is if he can get that knockout shot, because like you said, I think the wrestling gets kind of canceled out because both guys are good at it. And I think Deron Winn is going to have a tough time getting Hawes down because he's so great at defending the takedown. The only way that I could see him getting the fight down is if he can somehow get into the clinch and trip and do the leg lock into a leg sweep, and he just trips him down because he is the bigger guy. Deron Winn's the bigger guy. He's usually like a light heavyweight, but he decided to move down to middleweight into MMA. He's had talks where guys are trying to get him to move to welterweight, and he's like, "I'm a bigger guy. I'm going to lose that explosiveness if he does that." And I just think that he's still improving as a striker, whereas Hawes is a more polished fighter, striking and grappling. And I think this is going to be a situation where Deron Winn's going to take some chances, try and knock him out. He's going to miss. Hawes is going to duck, and then he's going to just pop Deron Winn with the overhand right and put him down. And I got this as a first-round knockout for Phil Hawes.
Yeah, I don't think Winn could ever make welterweight. And the fact that he's been in light heavyweight fights is still amazing. The last weigh-in he had that's listed was 194.5 pounds, right? He kind of reminds me of Alir Latifi, where he's so undersized in whichever division that he's in, but the power's there, the threat's there. A lot of people are looking at these numbers and thinking like Deron Winn is like, he's the one who's like the easy fight. This is easy money. he's super powerful. He's super tough. But I just think he's just a little overmatched in this one. So yeah, we're going with Hawes too.
Yeah, he's going to need more time to groom. Of course, he's a Daniel Cormier protege,
Yeah,
and
AKA.
yeah, and he needs to get more fights under his belt because he's only done 2 or 3 under the promotion, I believe it is, because he
Hmm.
had that long layoff, being suspended, and then he was injured as well. But I think in time, when he improves his striking, he's going to be a lot better. He's going to be around that Phil Hawes area, but he's not there yet. He's more one-sided fighter right now that just can knock guys out. He needs to be better with learning to jab, learn to throw more than just like an overhand shot.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a good test it for him to see how he can wrestle with him. But this is Phil Hawes all day. He needs to win this and then get that top 10 matchup that he deserves.
Yeah. It's crazy that, like you said, he beats Dawkins and Dawkins gets Holland. It
Yeah.
just may be a matter of who said yes and who said no. Holland might have been offered Hawes, and maybe he didn't want that matchup. He's trying to get that next step. He's got a few losses under his belt, and maybe he thought Dawkins was a better opponent. Plus,
Yeah.
like you said, this was penciled in for July, so maybe neither fighter were available at the time. Well, because Dawkins and Holland was last month, so maybe they weren't last week. I'm sorry, maybe they weren't ready.
Yep.